Hi guys, welcome to the lesson 4 of our CMake tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how to build your project with different mode like release and debug, and how to enforce certain C++ standards in your project. Alright, so let's start. This is our standard project that we did in lesson 3, right? If you want you can go back and see what's in there. But let's say in this new one we want to add this feature called variant. I hope you're familiar with this feature. If you're not familiar with the variant, you can look at my video that at the link below this video where I explained what the variant is. Let's say fancy variant, the variant double int. We're not actually gonna use it. We're just declaring here. Again, if you guys really want to see it, just check the linking in description below where I explain it in more detail. So now let's go into our build directory, generate our project, build it. Boom. So this fails, right? Basically tells us like warning, else declarations a C++ extension, use C++11, this and that. Okay, so it says something about C++11, right? What do we do now? Okay, so there's this thing called in CMake, if you want to enforce certain standard, what you can do, there's two options, right? You can pass the compiler flag, right? Like, you know how in GCC you pass like gcc.std, right? Like, and then C++11, right? For example. This is the one way to read. You can just pass the compiler flag to the CMake. I'll show you this later in the later video how to do that. But we don't really have to do it. We can do it actually much prettier, much nicer way. So what we can do is we set this variable called CMake standard. And you know, let's say we don't know what we're doing, so it said something about 11, right? So we're like, all right, we'll set to 11. And then we want to say that this standard is required. True. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back to our build directory. Okay, let's build it. Boom. CMake clearly, you remember the first error went out, but now there's a second error. It doesn't know what the variant is, right? The reason it doesn't know what the variant is because the variant was added in C++17. So let's add 17. Good, like your compiler might not support it, so don't worry about it. My compiler does support 17, but it was just an example, right? Like, let's say if you were using lambdas, you would have just needed 11 for it. I just need to find some example that would show the requirement of a variant. There you go. All right, so now build it. Boom. Okay, so this is the example how to set the variant, right? So how to set the standard in the CMake. Again, let me show you quickly what it is. We say which standard, and we say it's required. Honestly I'm not sure why they made it separate field. Like, why would you say like, oh, I want 17, but it's not required? Like, this makes no sense. But you know, CMake is CMake. What else are you gonna do? Okay. So let me show you some other very cool thing, right? So one way you can, let's say CMake does some magic, right? But let's say you want to see what kind of flags it sets for you, right? Like what kind of compiler flags actually sets for you in your build. So one way to look at it is if you're inside of your build directory, you can go to called CMake files. Then you just pound it there. It's basically whatever your executable name. Like, let's say if it was QuickBits, it would be QuickBits dir, right? If it was like fancy me, it was fancy me dir. And then there's another file called flags.make, right? So you open that file, and you can see that there's C++ flags, and then C includes. You remember that the one we added, well, like include directories, current source dir, right? That's basically what's in here. And see our 17 flag. There you go. Adding that CMake standard requires 17 actually translate into this flag, the dash std and GNU. It chooses GNU for whatever reason, but you know, I'm fine with that. And 1z is basically 17, just different way of saying it. So one thing that we don't see here is any optimization flags. Like we don't see, like, you know, stuff like O3 or something like this, you know, like none of that stuff, or do not debug. So why is that, right? So basically what happens is that by default, when you create the CMake project, it generates a debug project for you. So which is fine, right? Like once you're developing, it's all good. But let's say you want to deploy it, right? Your product, or if you're benchmarking something, you want to try it in optimized mode, right? So how we do it? Okay, let's quit. Let's delete all this crap, and let's regenerate our CMake project. But this time we pass this flag called CMake. You have to pass like -d. It's a very popular thing. Like, you know, in the compiler sometimes you pass -d, just define. Same way, -d CMake build type, right? And you want to say release. That's how you say you want to build a release type. Optimize mode, basically. You know how like in Visual Studio you can just pick release, debug. That's basically what it is. Okay, so now let's build it. If you had a bigger project, of course it would take longer to build the release mode, but here we have nothing. Okay, run our panda, and now let's open that flags file again. Boom. You see added this two flags, O3 and do not debug, right? O3 is optimization level, do not debug basically says that don't insert asserts and stuff. I mean, really, you probably want more flags, but this is good enough. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you want me to continue, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.